Sorry about that, folks. We had a little interruption in the stream. That's not a stream, thank goodness, so I'll edit it together in a really poor fashion because I don't know video editing. Ta-da! Anyway, we had just finished Chubb's Chug Jug, basically, who I think have some problems this year, unfortunately, but maybe he can turn it around still. We shall see. Next, we move on to Bison in Paradise, where Troun's trash team somehow put out the victory in a frustrating fashion. I actually think that Troun's team is going to be maybe okay if Derrick Henry can actually put up huge points every week. We'll see. Maybe Cleveland just doesn't have a run D. I'm not sure. But we'll find out within the next couple of weeks here. If Derrick Henry continues to put up monster numbers, this team's not bad. If he doesn't, this team is going to be in running back trouble really fast here without that much talent on the team around him. Tom Brady had a good week, but we'll see if that continues. It should continue because his wide receivers are insane, but we'll see. I'm not willing to guarantee anything in this league. Moving onward to the Cream Dogs. Cream Dogs look like the best team in the league right now. It's really hard to argue with that. I think Christian McCaffrey is going to finish number 1 overall in fantasy this year based on how that week 1 went. It was absolute slaughter. Mark Ingram and Josh Jacobs both look fantastic in their debuts for their respective teams. That's 3-star running backs for max. Usually 3-star running backs means you win fantasy. But it's not over yet. He's also got Odell and Keenan Allen and Kenny Galladay. It's a very stacked team. I don't really see any weaknesses in it. Tight end. His tight ends suck. That's pretty much the extent of it. He also somehow stole Chicago D, which did only put up 10 points this week, but still, they're going to put up more points than that going forward. I have a hard time arguing against this team. Russell Wilson had a bad week 1, but I think Russell Wilson will be fine over the course of the season. And if not, I think he can find someone to plug in at the quarterback position who won't embarrass him while his running backs win games for him. Yeah. So I think Max's team is in the best shape right now overall. But there are other good teams out there. I actually think that Felipe's team has potential, dependent on a couple of things. Los Ingobernables. Let's see here. Los Ingobernables had a good performance out of Mahomes, obviously. And then besides that, I do think that Duke Johnson is going to be pretty consistent 10 to 15 points a week guy going forward for Houston. So I think that was a fine pickup. Maybe he'll get a couple less points occasionally. And Larry Fitzgerald had a big week. We'll see if he can continue that. But beyond that, the team, his wide receivers just didn't really show up this week the way that people were expecting, especially Michael Thomas. But I think Michael Thomas will turn it around. The fact that he's got Shady McCoy on his bench has a lot of potential there. Dak Prescott's sitting on his bench, but he's got Mahomes. Actually, Felipe's should be a target for trading. I think Dak is going to be a top 10 fantasy quarterback for sure, and he's just sitting on Felipe's bench. Meanwhile, Felipe has Patrick Mahomes and doesn't really need to have Dak Prescott, so there's trade potential there, and Felipe could use another receiver based on how his receivers performed week 1. So if you've got extra receivers and need a quarterback, Felipe might be the guy to talk to. Cough, cough, Max, cough. But, I'm not going to force any trades here. I do have the ability to reject trades, though. Anyway, let's go back to the league. And next we got Sam Hinkie. The Hinkies. I think that Hinkies Pinkies are pretty good. I think that they've got Zeke, who was great in his opener. He didn't have a ton of points, but he looked really good. That's what matters. And I think that mostly it was just due to them limiting Zeke's touches this week. I think they'll be fine. Julio Jones is going to be great for him. Adam Thielen is going to be fine, but a little bit concerned there, given the fact that they didn't throw the ball at all, which was a little bit bizarre. But we'll see what happens there. And obviously, the big win was the fact that he's got Lamar Jackson. The thing is, obviously Lamar Jackson's not going to be putting up 33 points every week, but he will be putting up a lot of points week in and week out. So, a lot of potential there, I think, for Gilden's team. Antonio Brown obviously has insane potential moving forward once he gets up in that lineup in New England, but it might be early to start him, except for the fact that they're playing Miami this week, so you got to play anybody you can against Miami. Moving on to the last team, the Sticky Icky Sawickies. The Icky Sticky Sawickies are not looking great coming out in the gate here. Baker Mayfield looked like crap. Juju did not look great, only because, he looked great, but Pittsburgh just looked like garbage. Stephon Diggs, I think he's the one that's going to suffer most in this run-first offense, because Adam Thielen's Mr. Automatic. Diggs is the guy that gets less targets but bigger plays. But I think he's going to get less targets in this new run-first offense that Minnesota likes right now. So Diggs could be problematic. Christian Kirk obviously is why is he even starting for your team? Meanwhile, there's other challenges to this team going forward. I do think that David Johnson will be good for her, but I don't trust Kerryon Johnson, and there isn't a whole lot of running back or wide receiver depth on this team outside of Sammy Watkins, who just needs to start right now, especially as Tyreek Hill is out. He's going to be the favorite target of Mahomes, so you got to start Sammy Watkins. Just, I don't know what you're doing here. Your team is a mess. I know you're traveling off in Creamland or somewhere, but probably should check out your fantasy team, because you might be worse than Jock this year if you don't pull your shit together. All right, that finishes up our roundup of the league's teams. It's great to be back. Football's back. I don't care that the Bears suck. Football. It's been a great week. So exciting to watch week 2. Got some great games coming up. Let's look at the matchups for week 2, and I'll give my predictions there. All right. So looking at the matchups for the week, we've got I myself am playing Yang's Chang Gang. That should be a good game. We're projected to have the same point totals. Who knows who'll pull that one out. Next, you've got Saquonset Hut against Fuck Connor. I don't think it's much of a competition there. Fuck Connor's a big mess right now. Oh no, I used the team name. It's the Sticky Icky Sawickies. The Icky Sticky Sawickies are trash. They're going to lose against Saquonset Hut, who has the vastly superior team. Moving on, we got the Big Trubisky against Chubb's Chug Jug. These are both teams struggling right now. It'll be a good game. I think that if I had to pick a team, I would probably, it's really close down. I've got to go with Chubb's Chug Jug. I think they'll have a better week. I think that a lot of their struggles were... but I mean, I don't know. James Conner has to go up against that Seattle D. I don't think he's going to put up much points against them. And the only thing that I think that Dom has going for him is that he's got Felipe Rios on his bench, who's going up against Detroit, who I think will put up a lot of points. And I think that Brandon Cooks is going to get yards against New Orleans if he decides to play him. Otherwise, I'm not sure who's going to pull that one out. That would be a good game. Moving on, we got the Cream Dogs playing against the Bison in Paradise. And the Cream Dogs, like I said before, they look pretty much unstoppable right now. I don't see how they could lose this game. They look better pretty much in every facet of the game except for maybe quarterback. I think Tom Brady will have a huge game. Obviously against the trash Dolphins, so that gives a bit of a chance to Max and a bit of a chance to Trown and his Bison, but it's not going to be easy. And the Nick Chubb has to go up against the Jets D, which looked very good in week 1. So I don't think he can rely on a ton of points there. Also, but he does have Los Angeles Chargers D going up against Detroit. I could see a pick 6 happening there, but we'll see. Regardless, yeah, I think it's hard to see Max not steamrolling right now after that week 1 performance. All right, moving on. Last group, the Sam Hinkies. Sam Hinkies are going up against the Sticky Soicky. Oh no, that was last week. Whoops. Sam Hinkies already beat the Icky Sticky Soickies. We've got the Sam Hinkies against Los Ingobernables. Los Ingobernables. Los Ingobernables. There we go. Anyway. Yeah, this one's going to Sam Hinkie. I don't see how it doesn't. But, it's fantasy football. Just like real football, anything can happen. And that's it for me, folks. It was great chatting with y'all, or not chatting, just looking at my face for 20 minutes. I will see you next week.